Hello everyone, it's Jabro, and if you haven't heard the news, the new Guild Wars 2 expansion has been announced today. Guild Wars 2 Secrets of the Obscure. Now, whereas there is a lot of information to come out about this, about the expansion, we're going to be focusing on just a couple of little things today. So with the new expansion, with the new cadence and everything else that's coming, and if you've been watching the Lightbringers podcast, you'll know what we've been talking about. An expansion is due this year. It's coming out August 22nd. I actually predicted the date on the Lightbringers podcast as well. Not because I wasn't forced into a certain area, but also because I'm very smart and know what I'm talking about. This is coming out on August 22nd. If you do want to purchase the new expansion, you can do so via my link below in the description, and it will help support everything I do online. Hit the link, click buy, and you can check out the different versions, the deluxe and all that kind of stuff. We can get gems and different bits and bobs. I appreciate if you use it. If you don't, make sure you hit creators link up. I'd massively appreciate that indeed. So I'm going to read through a few things here. Well, not everything. It's a bit long, but I'm going to give you the general gist instead. But basically, they've done a big balance patch, and which just come out today, which is the 27th of June. The main reason for this has been also because in getting preparations ready for the new expansion to come out. What's happening is they're moving all of the weapons that are only available in classes elite specializations into the core class is being built in. So we're an engineer channel. I'm going to give you an engineer example. Mace just came with the mechanist spec. Mace is now a weapon you can pick up. If you don't pick mechanist, you can still use a mace in whatever build you want. You can use a hammer from Scrapper in whatever build you want. You don't have to pick the elite specialization for Scrapper to use a hammer. This is amazing news, and finally engineers get to use a flipping mace in their hand with a shield that is not just about the mechanist. We can use it with Scrapper. I am very happy because I've been wanted to play a build like that for Scrapper for absolute years since Half-Horns came out, and I am so pumped for that. So that's one thing. So think about your classes, think about the different ones that, like Guardian now gets axe, sword, offhand, and longbow just as a core spec. So they're obviously going to be changing some of the abilities and stuff as well, which is what they say kind of in the blog post, which is here, which I'll also post in the description below. It's all going to be available through this Weapon Master training as well, which is what they're talking about in the post. You can go read it again. I'm not going to explain every single little bit and bob, but you know, Necromancer, you can be able to use a pistol just on the core Necromancer specs. So this is so cool. It's just really, really awesome. Okay, but that does mean something else. There's other things like rune reworks and everything else, and relics and whatnot, but we're going to go past that. Okay, what we're focusing on today, that was already awesome, and you're going to be able to play that in the beta, which is coming up this weekend, which is ridiculous, by the way, because we had no knowledge of this from Friday the 30th of June, I believe. So with that, future update, expanded weapon proficiency. This is the hype I'm talking about right here. Let's read it. Let's go through it. To round off our combat systems updates, we're granting each profession proficiency with an additional weapon. Now, they are not giving us elite specializations in this expansion. Instead, they're doing us so many changes across the board and giving us our core weapon, like all of the elite specialization weapons in our core specs now and everything else. And they're going to be adding a new weapon in the second quarterly release. So that's later this year. That's in Q4-ish. Oh my God, I'm so hyped. Oh God. Like we said earlier, getting to play with a new weapon and changing out your first 5 skills is one of the most important, impactful parts of an elite specialization for many players. Weapons and weapon skills we're introducing to each profession in Guild Wars 2 Secrets of the Obscure are meant to satisfy that same itch of a new skill set. We just focused on making these weapons fit in with the existing trait lines. This is the plan. This is planned for second major release after launch, and we're aiming to ship those major releases quarterly We'll have more details about the style of play associated with these weapons as we get closer to the feature shipping, and later this year we'll have a beta for you to preview the changes. For now, here's the lineup of who's getting what. Really important. Guardian is getting a pistol, main hand and offhand. Revenant's getting scepter. Warrior is getting staff. What? Engineer is getting a short bow, which is why you've got the short bow in here right now, and that's what we're going to be talking about. Ranger is getting a mace, which is pretty cool, main and offhand. Thief is getting axe, awesome. Elementalist is getting a pistol, main hand. What? And then rifle for Mesmer. Oh my god. And the Necromancer is getting sword for main and offhand. June 29th to July 2nd, we'll be previewing Weapon Master training. Anyone with a Guild Wars 2 account in good standing can play and all the things, and then launches 22nd of August. So we're gonna do a little bit of theory crafting for Engineer, because Engineer is gonna get a short bow. Boom. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna have a chat with you, and I'm gonna get hyped for this. I'm gonna get excited, and that's what I want to do. I want to talk to you about it right now. Okay, so the only core classes that can use short bow are Ranger and Thief in their core elite specializations. That will also change because Revenant will be able to use a short bow across the board. So that's free technically. It will be when the expansion drops. At the moment, you can only use short bow in the elite specialization called Renegade for the Revenant. If we look at the skills in the game right now, weapons do have to sometimes have a theme which crosses the border into elite specialization and classes. If we have a look at some of the skills for the Revenant, we can see that conditions are pretty heavy. Okay, we've got Torment, we've got Bleeding, and we've got Slow and Burning, as well as more burn. Right, think about these are kind of just like, you know, they're within Renegade, so don't really count that. But like so this is the effect here of, you know, what a short bow is for Renegade specifically, or it will be for Revenant as well. So it can that will be able to go into other condition builds that aren't necessarily just about Renegade and having to run that elite spec. I'm so pumped for this. Like, please tell me what you think about this in the comments below. I would love to hear more about that. So let's look at the other two classes here that have short bows. That's gonna be the Thief. Right, yeah, my hair looks amazing. This isn't edited or anything. This is just me hanging out, chatting, getting excited about the next expansion. Thief again. Short bow available in the core spec, in the core game at the moment. For real, you don't need a elite specialization or anything for this right now, and again in the future you won't need to either. So let's have a look at the abilities. Bleeding, bleed. Also, this is more of a blast, which is what this is about. Third skill is cripple, but is also used as a way to leap away as well, and use it to distance yourself from targets. And you've got the fourth skill, which is AoE poison. And on impact, it gives a daze, so a little bit CC there as well. It's also a combo field. And then Infiltrator's arrow obviously is mostly used to get away if I don't fail, or to advance on targets and whatnot, or reposition. Okay, it does have a blind on there as well. So don't forget, there are some conditions on there. It's mostly used for mobility. It can be used as like a good range, kind of mid-range poke as well. There's just a good way to blast, you know, if you've got those smoke fields and whatnot. You can get some nice blinds. You can get some stealth off in different fields as well. Sorry about that, didn't mean that to happen. You know, you get the gist. Okay, so again, some condi, but also about mobility there as well. So what is it like on the Ranger then? On the Ranger, we have more conditions, especially on the second ability. If you get right up in the face of a target, you can do a lot of poison damage. I haven't got poison on this, but right now we can see it's a ton of stacks of poisons. Poison, bleeding. You've actually got swiftness there, but again, third skill, we've got a leap away. Okay. Then on the fourth spot, actually, we haven't got AoE at all, but we've got a little immobilize and a cripple. There's some CC there, and we got another stack of bleeding. And then on the fifth skill, we've got a stun, so some CC there as well. Really nice. Also, don't forget it's a combo finisher as well. So we've got some CC. We've got a ton of different conditions. We've got, what else? We've got poison. We've got torment as well. We've got stuns. We've got daze. We've got some potential blinds coming out as well. That means we've got a lot of things to think about in terms of what could it be like to be an engineer with a bow. So how do we look at this? I mean, I don't even know what to go for. But thinking how it could work with different specs, different builds, I wonder as well what you think we could potentially see from an engineer with a short bow. Now, there are different theories about potentially, you know, a short bow with explosives on it, you know, and it could be about building into explosives with that. That could be quite cool. I would be very interested in seeing that. It could be about, you know, maybe kind of darts, like electronic darts, which track enemies that might be able to work well with, you know, I don't know, bots or something, maybe like scrapper bots. That would be cool if they did some kind of working with scrapper or anything, but also it might limit you. You don't want to be limited by that. Of course, it kind of goes against what they're trying to do right now. So I'd be interested to think about what and how this could work. If you had explosive arrows, for example, it could work well in the explosives line. Let's have a look. See if I can find and pick out a build here. Explosives line here, for example, you know, gain fury when you hit a foe with an explosion, for example. If you had explosive arrows, you could have, I don't know, explosions grant stacking ferocity when they hit. So it feels like it would be a very damage oriented build. It's not going to be, or it could be mobility actually as well. It could be something like that. We just simply don't know. One thing I'm really excited about is I guess it would be, the weapon would have to be very good on its own, right? I know we can switch into kits and everything else, but engineer can't swap weapons in combat. So the bow is gonna have to be pretty decent. Whether or not it means it's more about a very mobile state of play or something which it's not going to be sustained. It's not going to be like a mace and a shield or like a hammer, or it could be a little bit more like a sword, I guess, but it's not. It's a projectile weapon. We haven't got, like, we've got the rifle and we've got the pistol, but they operate in very different ways. You can't just have a short bow and a shield in the same, like, it's a two-handed weapon. So like, what are we going to do here? It's very different for the engineer. It's very unique, which is very exciting. It's going to have to be very, I think it's going to be a mobile weapon mixed with some kind of explosive arrow, with potential, I think, an electric field, like some kind of, you know, some kind of thunderclap, maybe mini thunderclap with like some kind of lightning. It could be like a lightning explosive arrow combination of abilities potentially. I don't know. I'm just thinking about the other ranged kind of things we have going on. Like we have elixirs, which in the elixir gun, obviously, flamethrower is like a mid-rangey weapon, but has like, you know, blind and some CC, some fire, but is mostly based off of power damage. And we haven't, the only weapons we've really got for conditions are pistol. So it's gotta be condition oriented, right? I mean, that would make sense, and people are gonna say, oh, there's mace or whatever. Mace is really a condi weapon though, massively. Let's just chuck on a mace here. All right, we haven't got, oh no, there you go. Okay. It's just the only condition is confusion and vulnerability, and sure, there's a burning stack on there and confusion, but that's not, it's not like the reason I run it isn't for like conditions, you know? So what is it gonna be? So I think it's gonna be condition based, but with mobility involved, as well as maybe some kind of combo field, I think. Either way, I would love to see like this kind of grenade, explosive kind of short bow idea. Let me see if I can find like a picture, like a short bow. I don't know. What would you even call it? Short bow grenades or something? I don't know. But like just finding out some kind of image that might be kind of fun and interesting to show you, but I can't really find anything because I didn't plan this at all, as per usual. But that's absolutely fine because you love just hearing me talk. But like, it's just exciting. I just wanted to make this video to just talk about it and just be like, Engineer's getting a short bow. Like, what the hell? That's so cool. And just some ideas and theory behind it and what it could bring, because short bow for like the latest short bow is for Renegade, and you know, again, has a combo field. 2 out of the 3 short bow abilities across the specs we have right now have a combo field. You know, this 3rd skill is very different to the other 2 classes, which is, you know, they have a leap away. The 5th skill here has a knockdown, you know, and the 5th skill on Ranger has CC as well. So I think that's what I think. I think it's going to be a little bit of a mix. There could be some CC in there. We get a lot of CC with Engineer abilities as well. We did have CC on the Mace though, so maybe that won't be a thing. So I'm very interested to see and think, and I'm really excited what they could bring with this. And obviously sometimes, you know, we kind of get boons on, I guess, the auto attack on the 1st skill might and whatnot, so I'm wondering whether or not that's something that will happen. Without an elite specialization, you've got to think like, what kind of trait lines are we going to be seeing that go well with Engineer? You know, like I said, explosives line maybe. I don't think there's anything we can really see with, I mean, with Scrapper, if you use your bots and stuff, that's going to be a bit difficult because they're on you most of the time. You're not sending them out, so like mid-range might be a little bit difficult. And I think you will see a lot more core specs with these weapons. That's the interesting thing. I think a lot of these weapons they're going to be put into most classes are actually going to go well with the core spec design in mind. But you know, it's just all speculation. Either way, I would love to hear what you think. Shortbow Engineer, what do you think about all the changes? Let me know what you want to see, because as we get closer to this actually happening and more information, I'm going to be talking a lot more about it. But I just wanted to say hello, get pumped for the new expansion. If you do want to purchase the new Guild Wars 2 expansion in 2023, click the link below and I will see you next time. Let me know what you think. Come watch the Guild Wars 2 podcast as well, the Lightbringers, on Fridays on Twitch, 1 p.m. Pacific, twitch.tv/JebroUni, where we'll be talking about this Friday and the Fridays leading up to launch, as we will do for as long as that podcast show is going for. I'll see you soon, peeps. It's an exciting time to be a Guild Wars 2 player. Take it easy, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.